So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Now, listen, it's no secret, man. Everybody can't cook, right? It's no secret, and it's really actually it's okay, man. Y'all ain't gotta feel so bad about it, man. They make the meals at the grocery store that come. All you gotta do is sit it in the crock pot, or the meals that's ready to go, the instructions, everything. You know, they understand that not everybody has that talent of being able to go in the kitchen and, you know what I mean, chef something up. It's all right. It's okay. The problem is the people that know they can't cook and be out here trying to. It's like we need to put y'all up on a Jumbotron screen and show you that, no, fam, this is not acceptable. All right, so we about to check out the funniest cooking fails ever. All right, so if you're new, hit that subscribe button, join the fam. Here we go.
I can't cook. Wait, let me rephrase that. I can cook, but badly. Seriously, I'd find a way to burn cereal if I was left alone in the kitchen. But for all the culinary crimes I've committed, there are people out there who have done way worse things than me. From how-to videos gone hilariously wrong to burning pizza so badly it breaks. It's time to take a look.
And then they be trying to well, it was the oven. No, it wasn't. It was you.
Look at some of the funniest cooking fails ever uploaded to the internet. Have you ever put something in the oven, not set a timer, and then forgotten about it? It only takes a few extra minutes to char your frozen pizza or burn the majority of your meal. But have you ever fallen asleep with the oven on? After a few hours on high heat, your meal ends up looking something like food-shaped charcoal. As you probably guessed, this guy got drunk, got hungry, fell asleep, and awoke 6 hours later to this. By some miracle, he didn't burn his entire house down. On the bright side, look at all the calories he burned. We've all burned something, but have you ever burned something so badly it broke? Well, TikTok creator Ashlyn Holiday has.
What the? Oh my god.
Whoa. Did she just...
That's definitely a first.
invent self-cutting pizza? No, not quite. Thanks to the laws of thermal expansion, most things tend to expand when they're heated up, but when they cool, they shrink back down. And because Ashlyn had burned away any moisture left in this poor pizza, out of the oven its components all shrank so much it snapped. Either that or the pizza just decided it didn't want to be here anymore. Can you blame it? Aside from burning your meal beyond recognition, there's two more reasons why you shouldn't even think about cooking when you're intoxicated. One, you could have an accident, and two, someone might be recording you and put your failure up on the internet for all of us to see, like this. At first, this guy's just drunkenly struggling to get his pizza out of the oven, but then suddenly all hell breaks loose. Luckily, he was fine, and the
Oh my god, bro. This fool almost put himself in the oven.
Turned oven didn't...
You can't, if you end up putting yourself in the oven almost, yeah. Cooking is not for you, fam. Order Uber Eats, DoorDash, something, man.
burn the house down. But after this clip hit the internet, the comments people made left that guy totally roasted. Eggs are a god-tier food in my opinion. They're super simple to make and require very little effort to get right. That said, not even the simplest egg recipe in the world can make up for Butterfingers in the kitchen. I give it an A for the effort, but an F for the execution. Now, making an omelette is pretty simple in practice. You just whisk some eggs up and heat them up on the stove. Putting a lid over the top of the pan can help the whole thing cook through quick, but be careful your omelette doesn't stick to the lid, otherwise you might end up making Stian Urheim's mistake. Well, I bet it still tasted good, and on the bright side, that is one heck of a non-stick pan. If you've been subscribed...
that was definitely brand new. He just bought that, fam. Heck, how you How you get your eggs that crusted?
To be amazed for a while. You might remember a few months ago when I uploaded the Tutorials Gone Wrong video. In it, we briefly visited the chaos that was Kay's Cooking, a YouTube channel following the exploits of wannabe British chef Kay. After witnessing her try to cook special fried rice without actually cooking the rice, I was ready to call the police. But I recently discovered another food-based hate crime on her channel.
She got a lot more videos, man. So it's not just the rice, it's a lot more.
This time in the form of spaghetti bolognese. Kay starts off, controversially, as per usual, by adding a few eggs into her mince. Once mixed, she then takes a handful of pasta, wraps the mince around the middle of it, and puts it in a
I think I've seen this before.
baking tray. After throwing in a little tomato sauce, she throws the whole lot into the oven. Now, did you notice anything wrong there? Yeah, there was no way near enough sauce or moisture to cook all that pasta. So when Kay took the tray out of the oven, the pasta was well and truly burnt. Entirely unfazed, she sprinkled on some onion, added more sauce, and put it back in the oven. Finally, her son and human guinea pig was brought in to do the taste test.
So let's see what it tastes like.
The crunch. The crunch. If your spaghetti bolognese is crunchy, then you've messed it up. But why do they think it's crunchy?
That's fine.
Probably, yeah.
So nothing to do with the fact that the pasta wasn't cooked. Oh.
But you can't blame him. I mean, he probably grew up eating that, so he don't really know any difference, right? He all he knows is that. So to him, it's like, it's not that bad, probably.
So Kay's gone from not cooking rice to not cooking pasta. Incredible. It's worth mentioning that this kind of recipe does work, but the pasta has to be smothered in a mix of water and sauce so the pasta can absorb the moisture and cook as the Italians and God intended. Between the rice and the pasta, which of Kay's cooking catastrophes did you think was worse? For the pasta, hit that like button.
I don't know. She's 0 for 2 though right now that I'm seeing.
And for the rice, hit subscribe. Think they're as bad as each other? Then hit both. All right, what food fail have we got next? I'm hopeless when it comes to seasoning food. I always under-season it, which is, hilariously, the opposite problem of what Reddit user Chicken Alfredi had.
Now, we've all had that situation where you go to grab some seasoning out the closet and you open up the little sprinkle side, not the side of the pour, but the pour side opens when you go to sprinkle and it dumps on your food. Everybody's had that situation happen.
Either this guy really loves pepper, or he didn't check his lid was screwed on properly. But don't worry, Chicken Alfredi, you're not the only one who made this mistake. Fortunately, TikTok creator Sissel's sister has come up with a solution to this peppery problem, using a vacuum to suck up the excess pepper. What could possibly go wrong?
How about the dirty vacuum that sucks up dirt and dust and grime and filth you putting on around your food? Oh my gosh, bro.
No pepper, no eggs, no problem, am I right? Instead of assuming your eggs are immune to suction, you should probably try and learn from your mistake. Check the lid is screwed on and just make more eggs. Well, at least the vacuum isn't hungry anymore. Have you ever made a quesadilla? It's so simple. You just fill a tortilla with ingredients, heat it on both sides, and voila. It sounds easy, but flipping it over in the pan can be hard. Most regular-brained people use a spatula or a plate, but the big-brained people among us decide to flip it freestyle, though it doesn't always end well.
Ecco la mia tecnica di rivolta della piadina.
First of all, I think if you've never played sports, and I'm not saying everybody who didn't play sports can't do this, but you should have some kind of little athleticism to you. That way you know how to flip, catch. You know, catching is involved in that. If you're not a good catcher, if it gets out of alignment of where it's coming back, you know, your eyes know to follow it. That comes from being in different sports. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my guy, that's what you get for trying to flip that thing at the speed of light using a wok. Ugh. So, we've seen people mess up oven-ready food, egg, pasta, even quesadillas. Maybe we need a food that's so simple, it's impossible to ruin. How about rice? You just wash it, put it in a pan with enough water, get it boiling, turn the heat down so it simmers, and give it a few minutes. Or use a rice cooker. The fact even I know how to cook rice should tell you how simple it is. But TikTok creator Sad Lonely Froggy knows not everyone gets it. His sister tried to make rice in the microwave and
Now, I ain't gonna lie, growing up in my household, rice was a struggle. You know what I'm saying? My pops, he was like, he'd look at my mom and be like, yo, make some rice. He'll make the whole meal except the rice. You know, I grew up like, why people can't cook rice? What is the problem? It's probably because nobody ever read the directions properly.
and as a result created this. I have no words. It looks like she tried to use a non-microwavable plastic lid to cover her rice bowl, which melted and caught fire, ruining everything. Honestly though, she ruined it the moment she put it in the microwave. Respect the rice, man. Maybe I need to say it a bit louder so that Reddit user Pandarmer can hear me clearly, considering they created this abomination. Looks like they were planning on feeding an army. According to their post, they were halfway through cooking the rice when, for some reason, they left it for half a day. When they came back and started cooking it again, this happened. Rice doubles in size when cooked, so overcooking what looks like an entire bag's worth in a pan that's too small is never gonna end well. But in a way, this looks kind of majestic, almost like a sign that says, you need to buy a rice cooker.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at a recipe and tried to spice it up by adding something extra? Most people adjust the seasoning to their taste or try something new with the flavors. Others straight up add entirely inedible objects. I'm guessing whoever was
Is that a spoon? I think that's a spoon.
baking this banana bread forgot they left a spoon in the baking tin. Either that or they took the instruction of spoon mixture into tin a little too literally. Well, that's almost understandable. I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out how someone baked a pair of glasses into their bread. They must have forgotten they'd put them down in a bread tin and then couldn't see that they had. Here's hoping they added a little crunch at least. While I'm 99% sure those items only ruined the food they were baked into, other kitchen failures can end up ruining much more. For example, if you don't check your tray is oven-proof, then it might end up melting and cover everything in a layer of molten plastic like this. I mean, that pizza still looks good though. If anything,
Imagine destroying your mom's oven growing up. Like, you would try to leave the house and never come back.
looks like it comes with a lot of extra forbidden mozzarella. Thankfully, according to the Reddit poster, once the plastic cooled, it could all be removed from the oven. But that top rack was done for. And I'm sorry to say the pizza didn't make it either. Now, frozen pizza is one of the easiest foods to cook, providing you follow the instructions. Throw it in a preheated oven from frozen and you're good to go. But if you try to do something dumb like thaw it out before cooking and don't preheat the oven, your dinner might look like this. When thawed, most pizza dough doesn't have the structural integrity to hold together over the grill gaps. Parts of it can drop through, creating a mushroom cloud of disappointment. Or you end up eating most parts of your pizza off the bottom of the oven. So do yourself a favor and follow the instructions on the box. They're there.
Oh man, I hate it for whoever had to clean those ovens, bro. Man, when when Queen cleans the oven here, I see it, fam. That's a job. That's not an easy task.
There for a reason. Pregnancy reveals have gotten super weird since people realized they could upload videos of them to the internet. But none of them are quite as gross as this one. This father-to-be was tucking into some lovingly made waffles his partner had prepared for him when he noticed something hidden underneath.
Yeah.
I don't know why my mom may call me that.
Why? What the?
Baby.
What is that?
What did it look like?
Why is it my food?
It's a test. It's a pregnancy test.
What that mean? You pregnant?
Baby, yes. I just wanted to like surprise you.
Well, why you mess up my food?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm like the narrator, bro. These reveals, that's getting out of hand, fam. In my food though, the stick that you had to go to the bathroom and in my food though, come on, man. Like, you know, yeah.
With that.
Yeah, she put her positive pregnancy test in his food. Now, some of you might be thinking, aw, that's cute, but she's peed on the test. Technically, it's a drop test, so she only needed to drop a little bit of pee on it, but still, it's pee in his food. Way to ruin a meal and a pregnancy reveal. Well, it's pretty easy to tell if a gas hob is on.
But then we're looked at as insensitive when we be like, but this is my food. But you don't care. No, it's not. I don't. Like, okay.
Or not, just by looking for the flames. It can be a bit more difficult with electric hobs. Unless they're glowing orange, it's almost impossible to tell if they're hot or not without waving your hand over to feel the heat. This can be a bit problematic if you're spreading all your stuff out over the kitchen and forget the hob is still hot, as TikTok user Panjolo found out. Oh, that plastic board melted straight through. Now, I'm not saying I've done this once or twice, or 4 times, but when it's cool, you can unplug that hob element, stick it in the freezer, and in a few hours, the plastic should pop right off. Who knew the lessons I'd learned from my enduring kitchen incompetence would come in handy someday? Hey, you're welcome. Sadly, I don't have any advice for issues as catastrophic as this. TikTok creator Landon Reed was cooking a bean-based casserole in an old Pyrex casserole dish when it exploded on their stove. Now, Pyrex cookware is made from a type of tempered glass. While it's perfect for use in an oven, it's not advised to be used on a stovetop. Unfortunately, this warning was never put on the vintage Pyrex dishes, which might be what led to this bean-based disaster. Although, there are always worse things you could spill on a stovetop. Back in 2011, a young woman in Japan tried her hand at cooking, only to produce whatever the heck this is. It's thick, gooey, and blacker than night. What on earth is it? Was she boiling molasses? Oh, no, wait. I do know what that is. That's a mini-boss from Dark Souls. No, wait, I take that back. This is the mini-boss from Dark Souls. Actually, it might also be the same thing that lady was trying to cook. Well, apparently, the person that made this molten mistake was actually trying to make some caramel. Caramel is a fickle treat created by combining sugar, butter, and cream over high heat. But it can boil and burn in an instant, making it really difficult to get right. Now, I'm guessing this person was making a big batch of caramel and somehow forgot about it for several hours. Considering sugar's melting point is around 366 degrees Fahrenheit, this glowing red overflow is obviously super hot. In fact, I think there's 2 hobbits trying to throw a ring into it. Now, I've tried baking. It didn't go well. I couldn't get over how many different ingredients were needed and how much time it all took. But some people...
Yeah, I ain't the baking person. I leave that to Queen. She get in there and she get in her baking mode, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really do the baking, you know what I mean? But yeah, I see a lot of ingredients.
People have way more patience than me and can create gorgeous-looking bread rolls like this. Aw, they're little ducks. Those corn beaks are a particularly cute touch. I wonder what they look like when they're... Oh god, no, I changed my mind. Those poor bread ducks weren't left with enough room to expand in the pan when baked, so they merged together into one huge, horrifying...
So you know that whole middle is like super gooey. It ain't cooked.
Duck-based nightmare. Wait, was this bake directed by David Cronenberg? Ugh. Instead of bread, we should take a look at something a little easier to bake, like cupcakes. Can't go wrong with cupcakes. If kids make them, anyone can, except me. And TikTok creator Becca, it would seem. Instead of tasty cakes, Becca opened their oven to find boiling liquid simmering away in the cupcake cases. Last I checked, you're not meant to drink cake. So what went wrong here? Some commenters have suggested that Becca may have accidentally used too much baking soda or powder in their mix. This is a common baking ingredient that reacts in the batter to produce carbon dioxide, raising the batter and giving it a fluffy texture. But add too much and the batter might overflow just like this. Either that or Becca was reading from a spell book, not a cookbook. Okay, maybe cupcakes were a step too...
Speaking of baking, and this was messed me up as a kid. Did any one of y'all have one of the parents that said, "Don't be running through my house, or you'll have make my cake fall"? Was that ever true? If you ran in the house, anywhere in the house, like you couldn't have any fun when they were baking a cake or something because the cake would fall. Was that true, or am I just traumatized?
Too far. How about cookies? They're basically just butter, sugar, and flour. Pretty hard to mess that up, right? Wrong. Someone on Twitter tried to make some cute dinosaur cookies. Emphasis on the tried. Traditional cookie mix doesn't make a rollout dough, as it's just too wet. That's why it's best to roll the mixture into balls on the baking tray, giving them room to bake and spread out evenly. Disregarding this entirely, this person decided to cram as much mixture as they could into a few dinosaur molds and put them in the oven to bake. 10 minutes later, they knew they messed up. 20 minutes later, they definitely knew they'd messed up. What kind of dinosaurs
I mean, I can see it a little bit.
are these meant to be? Chonkysaurus, Thickosaurus rex, Velocifat. Some things are a little harder to cook than cookies, cupcakes, and frozen pizza, though. A whole unstuffed turkey, for instance, can take hours in the oven, needing roughly 13 minutes per pound at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. With the average turkey coming in at 30 pounds, that's 390 minutes. So what, 6.5 hours, give or take? Either way, it's a lot of maths, and not everyone is good with numbers, as one family found out. No, this person wasn't cooking a xenomorph, that is a turkey. I'm guessing they had the temperature set way too high. Or they just basted this bad boy with kerosene and hoped for the best.
Like a turkey with a black jacket on.
Recently, a cloud bread recipe has taken TikTok by storm, and thousands of creators have shared their step-by-step attempts at making it. All you need to do is whip together egg whites, sugar, and cornstarch into a stiff mixture and add food coloring before baking. Seems simple enough. What could go wrong? Well, a lot, turns out. The egg whites need to be whipped until they form stiff peaks, which come from the egg white proteins forming bonds with one another that can trap the air being whisked into them. If they aren't mixed for long enough, the bonds don't form properly and the air can escape, leaving you with a mess, as creator Anjab Foodie found out. Her hilariously tiny whisk clearly wasn't up to the task, but she may have saved herself from this recipe. Despite the name, this isn't bread. It's just a fluffy, wet lump of slightly sweet egg, no matter how much it looks like cotton candy. This has left a bitter taste in some creators' mouths for sure. Well, creator Erpunk decided to add a few extra ingredients to combat this, and it didn't end well. From those dark spots, it looks like they added some sort of berries. When baked, the berries probably released extra moisture and sugar into the mixture. This broke down those all-important protein bonds, leaving them with an eggy pancake instead of a fluffy cloud bread. Well, if you trust the process and follow the recipe, you shouldn't have any issues, providing you really enjoy wet, fluffy eggs. I don't know why, but there's nothing like watching someone who thinks they know what they're doing fail at something spectacularly. And that's where TikTok creator Becca comes in. She recorded herself making vegan cheesecake. It started off looking like she knew exactly what she was doing, but it quickly went downhill after she showed the camera the sheer amount of crust she was making. Continuing on, she started doubling some parts of her recipe without doubling others. Smart. The final vegan cheesecake mixture looked okay, initially, but the second she took away the tin, she was left with a 90% crust cake with a sliver of topping. Well, at least she doesn't have to worry about having enough crunch.
Oh man, I know her husband was like, she's like, try it, babe. Good.
Now, people on TikTok don't just try to show off their cooking prowess with cloud bread and cheesecake. Creators love filming themselves making a meal, adding in all sorts of fancy cuts to make the process look very glam. The only problem is, if you have one hand recording on a phone, you don't always have the best grip on your food. Oh, I felt that. Fell at the final hurdle. Is there anything worse than spending hours in the kitchen following every single step of a recipe only for the final product to look, well, like this? TikTok creator Tracy's Nanny was trying to make a Brazilian dessert called paella, but after using skim milk in her recipe instead of full fat milk, the result was less paella and more poupée. Hopefully she's a better nanny than she is a chef. Sometimes when you cook up a sausage, the meat expands and bursts out of the casing from the weak points at either end. It's usually not enough to put people off their sausages, but
it's normally a good thing when you get them to burst. Oh man, that's when they get good. You know you got them right.
bursts that look like this might be. That's a couple of suggestive-looking sausages, shall we say. I bet they were a real mouthful. Which of these cooking fails did you think was the funniest?
I didn't think he was gonna do it, but he did it. He stuck the landing. He did it. But oh man, listen, man. Enjoy it. If you enjoy cooking and you're just not good at it, keep working at it, man. You'll get better. You know what I'm saying? And just enjoy the process. You know, have some fun with it. You know, post it online and get a laugh with everybody else and keep going, man. That's all I'm saying. This was the funniest cooking fails ever. Y'all let me know what was some of y'all crazy cooking fails. Put them in the comment section. All right? And stay around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.